Hi, and thank you for watching this. I'm Sandra Villata from the University of Connecticut, and today I'm presenting this work in collaboration with Tabor and Jon Sprouse. So this work is about gradient effects. It has long been recognized that acceptability judgments are gradient. Sentences can be fully acceptable or fully unacceptable, but they also span through a wide range of intermediate values. In this work, we show that gradient effects are more pervasive than initially thought, as they extend even to cases that have been traditionally treated in categorical terms, such as the strong-weak island distinction. So islands are syntactic domains that prohibit the establishment of a dependency inside of them. In the yellow box of the background section of the poster, we report three examples of islands: weather, complex NP, and adjunct islands. Traditionally, the strong-weak island distinction has been treated in categorical terms. Strong islands, such as complex NP and adjunct islands, are claimed to block the extraction of both simple WH words like what and complex WH phrases like which puzzle. Weak islands, such as weather islands, are claimed to only block the extraction of simple WH words while allowing the extraction of complex WH phrases. However, recent acceptability studies have suggested that the strong-weak island distinction may be gradient. The extraction of complex WH phrases out of weak islands still generates an island effect, even if this effect is smaller than the effect of extracting a simple WH word. The question we address here is, what are the consequences of these gradient patterns in the processing of islands? The psycholinguistic literature has shown that the parser does not expect a gap inside of an island domain. However, if the weak-strong island distinction is gradient, then the following question arises. Are speakers more willing to posit a gap inside of islands with smaller island effects, such as weak islands with complex WH phrases? The standard tool for investigating gap filling is self-paced reading or eye tracking with a fill gap paradigm. But the ungrammaticality of these sentences makes that impossible. As a result, here we try a slightly different angle, and instead we ask how likely are speakers to choose a gap continuation when we vary how much information they receive about the continuation of the sentence. We reason that choosing a gap when there is less information available is more likely to be the result of an early structure building mechanism, whereas choosing a gap with more information available may be more likely to be the result of a late reanalysis mechanism. We thus employ two tasks that crucially differ in the amount of information they provide. A fourth-choice task, in which participants read two fully presented sentences with no time pressure, one with a gap inside of an island and one without, and are asked to decide which sentence they prefer. And the maze task, in which sentences are presented word by word, and at a critical point, participants are presented with two words, one compatible with positing a gap inside of the island and one compatible with not positing a gap, and must select the word that best continues the sentence. The fourth choice thus provides participants with no time pressure and the maximum amount of information about the continuation of the sentence, while the maze task provides implicit time pressure and a minimum amount of information about the continuation of the sentence. Results from the two tasks are highly consistent and can be summarized as follows. First, we observe an island effect for all island types. Participants are less likely to posit a gap inside of an island relative to a fully grammatical long-distance dependency. Second, the gradient effects observed in acceptability are also very clearly observed here. Participants are much more likely to posit a gap in weather islands with complex WH as compared to weather islands with simple WH. They are also very likely to do it in complex NP islands with complex WH, but to a lesser extent. And finally, they are relatively unwilling to posit a gap inside of an adjunct island with either WH type. Finally, the fact that the two tasks return the exact same pattern of result is compatible with two hypotheses. Either the mechanism at play in the fourth choice and the maze task is the same, in which case, whatever this mechanism is going to be, it must occur between 900 and 1600 milliseconds after the presentation of the two word choices, that is, in the time frame in which participants, on average, decide whether or not to posit a gap inside of the island in the maze task, or these two tasks tap into different mechanisms, the one underlying the fourth choice and the one underlying the maze task, And these mechanisms almost perfectly align in terms of percentage of gap selection. Future research should thus try to tease apart these two hypotheses. Thank you for listening.